Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I just woke up about an hour ago to no electricity. So our electricity's been out for about an hour and a half or so. And I just wanted to go over with you a real life situation where we have a snowstorm. We're right in the middle of a snowstorm right now. So I have to make sure that I go out and start plowing the roads, because if I wait for all of the snow to fall, it's going to be way too much snow for my plow to handle. So the first order of things that we have to take care of before I head out to plow the roads, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. But like I said, I can't wait. I have to actually get some snow out of the road to make sure that when we get another 6 to 8 inches of snow, my plow can handle that as well. That's what's on the road now. But like I said, before we head out, I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy it is if you have things set up to keep your electric going. Now, as you can see, this is flashlight light. We have a few lanterns on, really, going on in the house just to keep enough light on. And the first order of things is always to make sure that we continue to get heat. So let me show you how my setup works and how easy it is to get continuous electricity to my Toyo stove so that our house will stay warm during a power outage. So as you can see, that's one of my Goal Zeros, Torch 250s, and I just point the light towards the wall. That way it can illuminate and reflect off the wall and pretty much illuminates the entire living room / kitchen as well. And on my Toyo, I usually have it set at 66 degrees. Now the Toyo is set up to only go up 4 degrees before it shuts down, and then it turns on about 1 or 2 degrees below your setting. So right here, the way I have it, if I had it on the regular mode, it would go all the way down to about 58 degrees, 59 degrees before it turned back on. But what I do when the power goes out is to save on my backup energy is I put it on what's called Power Saver. Not sure if you can see that very well or not. There you go, Power Saver. And what that does is I bring it down to 60 degrees and it goes all the way up to 70, 71 degrees before it turns off and waits till it gets down to about 58 degrees. What this does is it conserves on the burner turning on, or the heater turning on, to start igniting the fuel. Because when the burner is turning on, the heater that's in there is kind of like a glow plug, kind of like the same kind of a plug that's in a diesel engine that ignites the fuel with heat. That takes about 360, 400 watts. So the more that happens, the more cycles that this goes through, the more electricity it uses. Usually after it's burned in and the fuel is igniting itself through its own heat, that glow plug will turn off, and this machine only takes about 50 to 60 watts to run, pretty much just to run the fan and to run the fuel pump that's inside of it. And now this, as you all know, this is my Duracell. This is my Duracell backup solar generator, or battery backup, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see right now, the Toyo stove is not running. So it shows that there's 0 output. And you can see there in the input, when we have electricity, normally you would see the icon or the little emoji of a wall plug. But since we don't have any electricity, you're not going to see that now. This right here will run my Toyo for probably about 5, maybe 6 hours. Now I've gone ahead and unplugged my refrigerator from its regular plug, and I just go ahead and run this electrical cord right here all the way to my Goal Zero. And as you can see here, this is my Goal Zero Yeti 1000, and it is backed up with 4 external batteries that each have about 1,100 amp hours. So all in total, this Goal Zero has probably about 5,000 not amp hours, watt hours. That's about 5,000 watt hours of usage. At 80%, you're looking at about 3,500, 4,000 watt hours. Now, all I have to do is take my extension cord, plug it in, and then turn on my AC. And let's see if and you can see our fridge turned on right away. And I can actually hear it beep. So right now, this is running my refrigerator. My freezer, I'll wait till the electricity's been out for roughly 4 hours before I turn my freezer on. And the way I do that is I take one of my other solar generators and hook it up to that. Another good thing to have, ladies and gentlemen, is Christmas lights. I know that this is the season, right? Christmas season. and that's why we put these up for. But these Christmas lights actually produce a lot of light, and let me show you how much energy this here takes. As you can see, I've got this hooked up to my rock pals, and it only takes 1 watt of electricity to power those lights. And ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. It's been snowing for at least 24 hours straight now. This is what my drive looks like. You can see the top of my truck. I already took some snow off, but you can see that the snow is pretty much about halfway up. And yeah, like I said, it's probably about 4:30, 4:45 in the morning now. And initially, when I first got up, my wife asked me, are you going to go plow? And I'm like, I'm not going to plow right now. I mean, it's too early in the morning. The plow makes a lot of noise. But I came out here, and you can see, let's see if you can see this. But you can see how high the snow is. And the thing is I don't have like an industrial snow plow. So I have to make sure that I get snow off once it gets to a certain height. That way I can actually continue to do it as the snow is falling. But you can't really see anything out here. But I'm going to go ahead and hit the snow right now with the plow. Try to get our entire road. And then wait till later on tonight, when supposedly it's supposed to stop snowing. And then come and hit it again. But this will be an entire day affair. Let me see if you can see the top of the house. Can't really see very much because of all of the snow coming down. But this is what it looks like during a slight snowstorm. This is not like a heavy-duty snowstorm, but this is what it looks like in Alaska during somewhat of a slight snowstorm. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, it's 22 degrees outside right now. 22 degrees. Here's a better picture right there. My wife's truck's been there for about the last 12 hours or so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the question is this: are you ready for this kind of stuff? You know, these are things that happen on a regular basis here in Alaska during the winter. But are you ready for the things that normally happen where you live? That's why I always say that when you look at prepping channels, look at different ones and try to take the good away from them. Because here, if I didn't have a snow plow, we would literally be snowed in until I was able to actually snow blow this entire road, which is what I did for the first 3 years that I lived here. I actually snow blowed our entire road. And it was about a 3.5, 4 hour ordeal depending on how much snow we had. One thing that I did forget to mention is the downstairs where I have my utilities. So where I have my utilities down under the house, for those of you that don't know, I have a space that is sealed in. All right, that has temperature control, meaning that I have a small Toyo stove down there that keeps that space at around 55, 60 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter. Now that stove, obviously, or that heater has turned off because there's no electricity and I don't have anything hooked up to it. I'm not that worried about that down there because it's only about 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Ambient temperature outside, and the walls for the downstairs where I keep my water tanks and my water pipes and sewage pipes are, that area down there, the walls are 8-inch walls, so they are insulated with, I think it's like R30 or something like that. So it takes a while for that area to get really cold where I need to turn that heater on with an external source. So I usually wait for that area down there to get to about 45 degrees before I go down and I put either a solar generator or a small generator on that Toyo stove, and I also power my water pump with that generator as well. But usually I'll wait about 4 or 5 hours. That's about how long it takes for it to get down to about 45 degrees when it's about 20 degrees outside. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm not worried that anything that I have down there is going to freeze whatsoever. It could probably go all day if I let it. At 20 degrees outside, it'd probably go all day because it's a pretty well sealed room. So once I'm done plowing for this morning, I'll go down there and I'll check that room out, and then I'll go ahead and make any adjustments that I need on the fly, whether if I need to hook something up to it or not. Now, how do I know what temperature it is down there? I keep a remote thermometer, and it lets me know upstairs what the temperature is downstairs, all right, via a signal. So now let's go ahead and start plowing this road. I have a problem with my plow right now. The headlights don't like to work very well. I have an appointment for it actually in 2 days, but I do have enough light to safely plow these roads, especially the time of the day that it is right now. There's nobody out on the roads, but I'm just going to take it nice and easy, nice and slow, take my time doing it. That always seems to work best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm at so far. My main road is almost about halfway done, but I just want to show you all of the snow that I pushed. If you see in front of my trailer, there's probably about a 5 foot, 5.5 foot pile of snow, if not taller. I push half of the snow that's on my driveway towards that way, and then it allows me to back up and push the rest of the snow out towards the road on the other side of the road where there's a ditch. But you can see all of the snow that's still coming down. It's supposed to snow all the way through about 11 p.m. Monday night. And right now it's about, I want to say about 5:30. This clock is off by about half an hour, so it's about 5:30 in the morning. As you can see, it's only 23 degrees outside, which really makes it worse. Makes it very dangerous for drivers out on the road, and it makes the snow a lot heavier. So on top of doing the roads today, I'm going to have to go make sure that I do both of my small tents. My big tent bag there, if you can see it, pretty much takes care of itself because the snow slides right off of it. I also have to get my water tank. I have to get the snow off of that 2,500 gallon water tank that I have right there. So I'm about an hour in to snow plowing right now. Probably have about another hour or so. I usually do the main road, and I also go a little bit further down to help whoever is in that area out a little bit. I can't do all of it, but I do as much as I can. Now I have to get out every once in a while because you see all the snow on top of my cab. When it gets warm, it slides off onto my windshield. So I get out every once in a while to clean my windshield off. And look at this so far. This gives you a good idea of how things are looking. Now I did go down all the way to the end of my road towards the bottom over there, and there's a electric company person working there. And this is one thing that I do, ladies and gentlemen. In the back of my truck I keep a broom. That's how I get my snow off. I keep a broom. It's a lot easier than one of those little snow removal brooms that you buy at the store. I mean, I have one of those in my Suburban, but I keep a broom in the back of this one, and I keep a small one in the back of my Suburban as well. It makes it easier to get off in a hurry. So let's go ahead and let's continue plowing. Something I didn't tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is that Karma and Dog ran off when my wife let them out. It's nice and warm out, so they probably thought they could stay out and play for an extended period of time. And I didn't say anything earlier because I didn't want to jinx me finding her. And ladies and gentlemen, Karma decided to stay and plow with me as her penance for running off. She's going to have to do some chores and help me plow. She'll at least keep me company. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are done pretty much for now. I ended up having to help out a neighbor. He was kind of like snowed into his drive and he only has a little car. But show you the aftermath. I am very happy that this truck has a 5.7 liter engine because you can really tell when you're pushing that you have that extra strength, and it's very nice. But I just want to show you here. Take a look at the new snow. This mound right here. Let me see how high this mound is. So this mound is probably a good 5 feet high, which is not too bad. Today I definitely have to come on out here. When it gets light outside, I'll come on out here and get all of the snow off of the top of that tank. And for those of you that are curious as to how much snow one of these tents, these little tents can hold, there's probably at least a good foot of snow on top of there. And I'll come and get the snow off of there as well. And I actually went ahead and pushed the snow back all the way past my bunker over here. And I actually got stuck a little bit over here before. I got stuck because I didn't have my plow all the way down. And I left too much snow in the back. And even though I have a four-wheel drive, I ended up getting stuck a little bit. But after a little bit of wiggling and waggling, ended up coming on out all right. So all I have to do here is come back here by hand and shovel this out. Shovel a path through here by hand so that I can get to my tanks. Because one of those tanks is empty right now. So I have to get to one of those. This is my big green tent. As you can see, this tent does pretty good as far as snow. So probably what I'll do here sometime in the next couple of days or so is I'll go ahead and try and get some of that snow off of the sides. But as far as the tops, the snow usually doesn't accumulate too much on the top. And then here's my, look at that, you can see my phone. Here is my trailer. And you can see that I have to get snow off of there. So it's just, I consider snow removal the cutting grass in the winter in Alaska. It's almost like cutting grass. It's something that never really gets done. But it's something you definitely want to make sure that you take care of, because like right there, that's about as far as I'll let that go, because it could actually cave in the top of that tank. So later on today, when it gets light out in a few hours, we'll come out and we'll have a shovel party. Me, Little Miss Alaska Prepper, and Mrs. Alaska Prepper will come out here each with a shovel, and we will shovel paths to the tents, to the underneath of the house over there, which is where I have my water tanks. And then we'll get ready to do it all over again, probably tomorrow after it's done snowing. Let me go ahead and show you what my road looks like. And it's actually not very cold out here at all. Right now, I'm actually still in my pajamas with boots on and my t-shirt. I won't turn the camera around because I have a headlamp on. But as you can see, it's still snowing pretty good. I just heard the radio and it said that we're supposed to be getting about another 1 or 2 inches of snow, but it's going to get warmer. So I just hope that it doesn't turn into water. But that's my road out there. Man, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Is this a nice little headlamp or what? That's pretty much all the way at top of my road. You could probably see one of my neighbor's vehicles up there. Pretty nice little headlamp. I've had this headlamp for a long time. And then here's the cul-de-sac. I go ahead and do this too, because that gives me room to push snow to in case too much snow builds up here. As you can see, I was just going straight in right here from my drive, and I started going in at an angle here, because one thing you have to think about when you do snow removal is there going to be room for the next snowfall? So you have to think about that too, depending the size of a plow that you have. My plow is not an industrial plow, so you can see that I was pushing it in. I was trying to go like straight in this way, pushing it in as far as I can. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a little bit of fun. I mean, this was kind of a boring video, I think, because I do this all the time, but I thought that I'd go ahead and just show off a little bit what our snow removal situation is like. And as you can see, I only did the plowing side. We're gonna have to get these vehicles out of here later on when we have our snow shovel party. And then once we get these vehicles out of here, I'll go ahead and plow this snow all the way past the black Suburban that you see there. So it's very nice having a plow. Very, very nice. I don't regret getting it at all. A little pricey, but definitely worth every penny. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the power is back on. So it lasted probably about 5 hours. We had our lights off. So actually not too bad. That's the longest electrical outage we've had this year, meaning 2021. And I think it's the longest one that we've had since I've been here. Prior to this, I think the longest one we had was like 4 hours. So this one lasted about 5 hours. No big deal. We'll walk in the park. Now all I'm going to do is set everything back up. First thing I did was I disconnected the refrigerator from the Yeti. And whenever I do that, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and plug the Yeti into an outlet so that it can start recharging right away. And as you can see here, we've got 4 full bars for the Yeti itself. But since that light is blinking blue, it means that it's charging the batteries that are connected to the Yeti. And the freezer was plugged into the Monstar only for about maybe an hour, hour and a half or so. So it's not going to be that depleted. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the freezer, plug it back into the wall outlet, and go ahead and put this Monstar back on the charger so that I know it has a full charge. This is the reason why you need to use your equipment, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever preps you get, whatever equipment you get, you need to use it. Because whereas I thought that this Monstar generator would have lasted a lot longer, in less than 2 hours, my freezer used up about between 20 and 40% of the charge in this. Now, since this Monstar has a little over 1,000 watt hours, I'd have thought that it would have lasted a lot longer than this. So this tells me that in about 4 or 5 hours, this would be drained of electricity on my freezer. Now I know that. Make a mental note of it. So I went ahead of, obviously you can see that I plugged this in, and now we're going to go downstairs and unplug our small generator and plug everything back in on the grid. Now I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, these little exercises, all right, they surely do make me appreciate being on the grid. And in a way, I'm kind of thankful for like the electricity to go off every once in a while, because it allows me to see and practice what I need to do in case the electricity went out for a long time. It gives me an idea of what I would have to go through. So now that that I have at least a path, I went ahead and shoveled the path to the tent, took off the snow off of the top of the tent. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just to prove to you that it's only 23 degrees outside, I've got my Crocs and my shorts on. It's actually, the temperature outside is actually very, very pleasant. Look at the bunker, poor little bunker. I have to go over there and do a path, shovel a path for the bunker. So now we'll go over here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn off my little generator. I'll show you what I had going on in here. Very, very simple little setup, really. So I went ahead and put that shovel there, because if it kept snowing hard, or if it started snowing hard, and now it seems like it's raining, really, it's what it feels like. But if it started snowing hard, that the air intake would not suck in any snow. So let's go ahead and put that shovel there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off. And we'll go ahead and unplug it. I'll tell you what, this little generator is very nice. And like I told you, it was enough to go ahead and power my Toyo stove along with my water pumps. Now all I need to do, ladies and gentlemen, to plug that in is just, I have an outlet right here. That's a 20 amp. I'm not sure if you can hear this fan. This fan just turned on. My Toyo stove should be on as well. You can see here that my Toyo stove is on. So we are good to go. And let me show you one last thing. This little gadget right here is what I use to tell me what temperature it is down here. So this is used really for like pools. It's got a sensor that sends a signal to a little console that I have upstairs and tells me what the temperature down here is. And as you can see, down here right now is 56 degrees. So that's how I know when the electricity goes out. That's how I know when I have to come down here and get things turned on down here to make sure that it stays warm enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just made it to the bunker, and let's see. Very, very happy that I got that propane heater. If you can't see right here, the inside temperature where this thermometer is 60 degrees, and right next to the heater is 58 degrees. And let's take a look at our Blue Eddy EB70. And right now, it's recharging. It ended up using, it looks like around 20%. Oh, look at that, it's fully charged now. So it was flickering back and forth on the 100%, meaning that it used around 20% of its charge. But I had the computer off, so it wasn't using that much wattage, maybe 10 or 15 watts when the computer is completely off. So everything is good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, listen, I hope that you all have a great day. Thank you very much for joining in. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out.